Hey folks, welcome to the latest and greatest of crypto. We're going to get into market roundup, stock market, crypto, Pulsechain, TitanX, and AlienX. So I hope you guys enjoy today's update. Get in the chat there, folks, and get lively. If you've got any alpha, drop it in the chat. We may even check that out. So let's go for gold. Have got some painters around, so it might get a bit noisy, but let's have some fun. All right, let's go. Let me see here. Who's jumped in the chat there? No one yet. So say hello, and we'll get up to your comments. Let's start off with the stock market, and we're going to go to crypto, then Pulsechain, and then of course TitanX ecosystem, which has started to rally again. So let's get into that. All right. Stock market today, S&P 500 ends just lower as intraday climbs cools. I don't know who makes up these titles, but they do. Anyway, we've got the Dow Jones up 0.4%, 161 points to 43,239. Remember, the Dow Jones is kind of like the top 30 industrials inside that, or cyclicals there. S&P 500 is pretty much flat today at 5,841. The NASDAQ with all the tech companies, that's the one we really like, is pretty much flat as well, but just up slightly at 6 points to 18,373. That's kind of where we are there. The US dollar is down up to 0.1% to 103.59. So we've seen a real rebound in the US dollar, even on interest rates devaluing. So obviously liking the economic data going on there, and of course a bit of flight to security there with the reserve currency. Now let's get into the commodities, see what's happening there. West Texas oil there, $70.86. That's pretty much pretty flat. Brent oil, $74.45, pretty much flat. And obviously you may not have heard, but Israel took out the lead terrorist Sinwar, and so that's been a huge news. Of course, did the October 7th massacre, so he has gone to where, a very hot place. It's probably, let's say. We got gold there at the moment is at 2,700, and silver is at $31.88. Both of them pretty much flat as well. So that's kind of the commodities. We did have some good economic data. Retail sales rose by 0.4%, accelerating from an unrevised uptick of 0.1% in August, according to the Commerce Department. And of course, economists had a reading of 0.3%. So retail sales slightly above expectations. Robust spending on items like groceries and clothing helped offset weakness in expenditures on high-priced goods such as furniture and electronics. So basically the essentials, everyone's buying those. There are some pockets of weakness in details, but overall the data suggests that the consumer remains relatively good shape overall. So that's good for the US economy, because remember, 2/3 of the US economy is consumption. They're the big consumer of the world, and of course they keep the whole world ticking away for the most part. And of course that's bullish for stock markets, bullish for crypto and everything else. So kind of neat. On the labor market front, jobless claims fell to 241,000 from 260,000 the prior week, in line with economists' expectations. So that's not too bad as well. Employment are doing a bit better than expected at this stage. So that's kind of where we are on the stock market. Let's quickly look at the interest rate view at the moment on interest rates. Let's have a quick look at that. So we've got 2 weeks and 6 days and 80 hours to go until the next Fed meeting on the 7th of November. Remember, that's 2 days after the US election on the 5th. We've got 91% of the market expecting a 25 basis point cut, taking us down from 5% down to 4.75. So far, we've only had one cut, right, September, and that was 50 basis points, taking us down from 5.5 down to 5%. This will take us to 4.75% if we get that 25 basis point cut. Only 9% of the market's expecting a no change. So that's going to be around there on that one. And by December, we've got at least the majority of the market there, 75% expecting another 25 basis points, taking us down to 4.5. So that'd be a 1 percentage point decrease. Now, obviously, the lower interest rates, the more likely money is to go to speculative assets. That's bullish for crypto and stock markets, obviously, especially where we are now in the cycle, right? Expecting a real rally soon. So that's kind of the stock market economic news. Looking at crypto, we got Bitcoin down 0.6%, $67,381. Ethereum there, and the dominance at 56.3, so still pretty dominant is Bitcoin. Ethereum there at $2,608 is down 0.5%. Pretty much the market is down apart from Tron and Litecoin. You can see that BNB's down almost 2%, $591, breaking the $600 mark. Solana's down 2.65%, but still over $150. That's kind of some of the leaders there. A little bit of a move on Litecoin there, up 4.5%, $73.18. And that's pretty much it overall on that. So let's quickly bring up the Bitcoin. We looked yesterday at how the Bitcoin returns are going, so we checked that out yesterday, so we're very positive for the month of October. So still getting a good return. Nothing like last year, we were up over 23% for the month, but still a pretty positive, around 6 or 7%. We're holding up at $67,360 at the moment, and we're marching through October, just over halfway through October there, and we see that we've got a nice up. Started off a bit rough, but we're heading in the right direction now, and the US election is coming up closer and closer. And of course, we really need a Trump win, not only for freedom, but also for crypto pumping. That's probably the case there. 19 days to go to the US election. Can you believe it's coming closer and closer? And then 21 days ago, 3 weeks until we get that next interest rate cut, and that should help spur markets as well. So let's see how we can go through October, the US election, getting Trump in, and then interest rate cuts. Man, what a perfect run that would be for that Christmas rally we're all after. And of course, altcoin season, bring on the absolutely big gains. So that's the kind of play there. Let's have a look at the Ethereum. Ethereum at $2,600, pretty much flat the last couple of days, but has, it's back over the 200-day moving or 50-day moving average in yellow, that yellow line, and of course the 200-day moving average up at 2,804. Still in that death cross, but good chance we'll reverse out of that in October, November. And of course, I really do think that Trump win is going to be very bullish, hyper bullish probably for the crypto market. So we're really keen on that. All right, so that is kind of it on there. Now I'm just going to bring up the meme coins quickly. Let's go do that and jump into that one. Let's go. All right. So we've got Dogecoin. Now, as you guys might have seen, Elon Musk was doing a live what I call it, a meeting, a presentation for getting people to vote, sign up and vote, right? And of course, Trump's talked about appointing him to the Department of Government Efficiency, and so he quickly, someone asked him about that role when he was in the I guess symposium. I don't know what you call it, but he was presenting, and it was just a few hours ago. And he said, obviously, Department of Government Efficiency is Dogecoin, which I thought was pretty hilarious. So he pumped that. So that's pretty funny. So that's just under 19 billion, really, 18 billion, 850 million, up 21% for the week and 1.5% today. Now I'm surprised that comment in the meeting didn't actually pump the chart even more. That was kind of hilarious. But Elon's got a real sense of humor there. You can see that a lot of things meme coins are up for the week, but they're down today. PopCat though is separated out. They're up 9% today, making positive week gain at 1.3 billion. Brett had a really good week, didn't it? Up 20% for the week, but just down 3.6% today. Mogcoin up 37% for the week. Mu up 45%. Turbo up 59% for the week, down slightly today. SPX up 17%. Most of that today, in fact, all of it today, 22%. And of course, our favorite one here, Dogcoin. I have to mention BOEM, that's up 37% for the week, but Dogcoin 18% for the week, 1.5%. Waiting for that tier 1 exchange news. We know there's several tier 1s in discussions with Leonidas, and so we're looking forward to that. Right, that could end up being the number 1 meme coin in the bull market if it gets that lineup of tier 1 exchanges. Remember, it's going to basically increase liquidity and demand, maybe 100-fold. So this is still very attractive at 558 million, and maybe that could end up being $100 billion chain. So maybe 180 plus X on that one. Definitely looking positive. So let's have a look at the overview markets, and we can see that market cap is 2.31 trillion. It's down 0.8%. Volume is 72.36 billion. That is down almost 14% today. So that's kind of the overview of the markets. We're going to get the Pulsechain next. Before we do that, though, let's say hello to a few people, and let's see who's jumped in the chat. We've got Hexavator in house there. Hey, again, good to see Hexavator. Have you changed your name? You got Excavator now. I see there. Very clever. We got Eddie in house. Hey, Eddie, good to see you as always. Craig Pitt as well. Morning all. Good to see all the regulars. Eddie in house says, how long do you think we'll have to hold a Pulsechain and Pulsex for $1 return. I don't think that they're going to get to $1. So I think you'll be waiting for for something that probably won't happen. But they're going to probably do pretty well in the bull market. That's all I'll say about that. Now we've got to wait till Ethereum really kicks past 3,700, and of course probably get much closer to the top of the rally. Now you might find that Pulsechain will rally through all that. Obviously we've got the court case coming up on the 31st, but then we're probably good chance we may be a slight later pump than the market. So we'll see how that goes. There's a couple of scenarios there. All right, what else have we got? Wookie in the house there looking good. Hey Wookie, good to see you. X-Ray says MAGA, yeah baby, yeah, make America great again. Well, I got to make the whole West great again, right? So the West is in massive decline because of progressives and now Islamists invading the West. So we're definitely going to need that. People to understand how bad that will get. If you want to look at the UK, it's just a good example. Look at France, look at Spain, look at Germany. There's many examples of how bad that situation's getting. Harris interview with Fox didn't do her any favors. No, she was pretty bad. She was pretty bad. But hey, she was a pretty bad lawyer, right? Pretty poor lawyer. She was good at putting people away for the same crime she committed, but apart from that, she was pretty bad. Big Kahuna in the house there. Hi folks, good to see Big Kahuna. We got Hex Token channel members representing. David says can't sleep, so catch you live. Hey, nice one, David. I hope you get to sleep afterwards. Maybe my voice will put you to sleep. Who knows? Certainly not my singing, that was for sure. We got Francia in the house. Hey, Francia, good to see you. To Jesus in the house. Hey, good to see you. I love those sunglasses. Looking very cool. All right, let's get into Pulsechain and let's go next level with this. Bam. All right, we're still on the meme coin. So let's go to Pulsechain, day 524. Let's get into the details for that. So we've got Pulse at the moment, quadruple 052 and is up slightly, 1600%. Still over 52% of the main sacrifice price there. Pulsex at the moment at quadruple 0302, up 2.36%, over 30% of the main sacrifice price. So it's doing a little bit better, isn't it? And we got the total buy and burn for Pulsex is at a 1,035 billion. That is up 5.15% on Pulsex at the moment. So that is slowly ticking away there. Incentive token is $2.34, up 6.15%, and the ratio is at 45,000 pulse. So that's improved a lot. And of course, most of that gain today is in the ratio. So that's really good. The total supply around about 45 million tokens from Pulsex V1, assuming that's been updated recently. And Hex at the moment is actually down today after doing really well yesterday. Is at 1.44 cents, down 8.5% there. EHEX is at 2,700 of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX is at 1.7 cents. So still looking fairly attractive at 1.7, but definitely after that big rally, that 5.3x rally has cooled off and consolidated, but still looking good to get ready for that next move, which could possibly be in the next 2 weeks leading up to that court case. We shall see where it heads, but certainly had a bullish course if I remember rightly on the weekly. Let's quickly look at the gas prices quickly before we get into the rest of the charts for Pulsechain, and then we'll get into TitanX after that. So 156,000 beats, so that's really low. 0.3 of a penny for a Pulsex swap, looking good there. Almost 4,500 times cheaper than Ethereum, with 14 Gwei on Ethereum right now. We were getting so used to that 1 or 2 Gwei on Ethereum, weren't we? And it all disappeared. So the best you'll get is about 7 or 8 these days. That's probably on a Saturday, probably on a Sunday or something. Validators at the moment, 48,689 validators. Remember that Pulsechain is a full system state fork of Ethereum with a full DeFi. So that's kind of the play there. Is a big advantage, I think, in the market, to be honest. $113.1 million in the bridge. So I think that's down about 700K from yesterday. Obviously, the Hex contributing to that. And so is Bitcoin and Ethereum also pulling back down there. But it looks like DAI might have been up slightly actually today. So that's kind of where we are there. So that is a day 524. Let's get into the rest of the charts. We're going to have a look at the Hex derivatives. We've got Hedron at the moment is up 4.3%. Icosa is at up 2.7% on Pulsechain. And we haven't really seen much of Alex McFerder, Gold Key, or what was it, Dip Catcher. And probably since Richard Hart did the stuff around EHEX, really pushed probably disheartened those. It wasn't really cool. I don't think really anyone really appreciated it. But you can't be perfect all the time, can you? I guess that's the way it goes. But certainly a huge value. Big shout out to all those guys doing amazing stuff. I did see on Rags to Riches, a show earlier today, had an interview with Jake Sharp, and they were talking about kind of the idea that Richard doesn't really, say you even need, projects on Pulsechain. Seems kind of odd. I'm sure he said that he wants them on there. So yeah, it's a bit of give and take. It's I think it's been very good for the chain. So yeah, interesting commentary there. I'm sure there's comments that Richard's made on both sides, but nevertheless, that was what happened. They were some of our best devs, so I don't know where they've gone now. I know Alex is probably still doing something, so we'll see where that all heads. Certainly the base token at the moment, the base one, apparently that came matured, was it in the last couple of days? So that's sitting down there. It's at 1.8 cents. That has a, was it a 10-day window? I think something like that. Let me know in the chat. Can't remember, but I think it's about 10-day window where you can redo the base, on the third cycle. Be a third cycle for base. So big shout out to Dip Catcher and Goalkeeper for that. Great product, relatively speaking. Obviously pretty low liquidity on the base, but still, it was a good idea, good product from that point of view. Let's go to the stable coins. Speculative stable coins there. PDI down at 0.3 penny. So they just eased off, haven't they? The speculative ones down 5.8% today, followed by USDC and USD Tether down quite a bit actually, sitting at 900th of a penny. So it's down quite a bit there. We see that the Sun mini meal stable is supposed to be $1.60. It's only at 38 cents, and like I say, we haven't really heard much from that as far as I know. Hex Scout is the one to follow on that one. Let's have a quick look at influencer coins. We've actually got a bit of movement here. Bromance from Ben Armstrong is up 5%, so that's not too bad. Access Alive is up 2.6%. Paul Pleb is up 0.5%, so a little bit of movement there. The one that I think is going to do pretty well towards the end of the year is SolidX. I remember DragonX founder Eric is doing a big crash game for that. SolidX may be one of the two biggest games on Pulsechain. Obviously, Mafia being the biggest one. I really find it hard to see it beat that, but you never know. They've got a lot of influences, so we'll see. But obviously, Mafia is building up to be quite the big game. $13.61 at the moment, so we'll see what happens in that space. Let's jump to markets overall for Pulsechain. See how that's going. And let's see here, we've got $20 million in trading volume, so it's not too bad. It's outside of our range that we want to be in, 25 to 45, but it's still decent. Certainly not down on our lows when we had 5 to 7 million, so it's a lot better than that. 279,000 transactions. Let's have a look at some other top performers. We've got this one, Jupiter, up 77%. SparkSwap, one of our DEXs. You can see it's number 4 DEX behind 9-inch and 9mm. That's up 7% at the moment. Let's have a quick look at that price and see how that's been performing. Yeah, not too hot. Has bounced off 1,300 of a penny, is up at 1,400 of a penny at the moment. But they've been reliable at least, right? And that's the one thing in crypto, that they actually sort of do what they say rather than rug you. That's kind of pretty reasonable. They certainly had some good value there for people to capture at the beginning. Maker, one of the contracts there is $15, up 7%. In fact, this is some of the rumored stuff right around Richard Hart and stuff. And let's have a look at this chart based on the daily. So that's actually performing pretty well, isn't it, actually? Let's have a look here. Yeah, so that's actually a pretty good chart. Almost $15 for Maker there. How about that? And I'm pretty sure that is from the beginning. Yeah, so not bad there for the Maker contract. So what's happening with these contracts that got copied over? And of course the stablecoin arguments, right? So it's a whole topic by itself. Serum token is up 6%, so doing very well there, $2.34. And of course, didn't we yesterday? I think we saw like a $600,000 buy or something incentive. I think it was. That's definitely pretty amazing. Up token is normally related to UpX, or at least Up token related to liquid loans. That's up 4.7%. UFO related to PDDC is up 4.5%. And of course, we talked about Bromance. So we've got a little bit of movements there going on. Pulsepot is actually up 3%, $1.56. So we're expecting more news around Pulsepot and the big gaming setup that's coming up. Sort of a consolidation, amplification of all the crypto casinos that Jacob is working on for his ecosystem, which is one of the best ecosystems on Pulsechain. So that's kind of the overview there at the moment on Pulsechain. We're going to move on to TitanX now. But before we do, let's catch up in the chat one more time. Let's go, bam. Let's get out of there. And we're going to bring up the old TitanX stuff. Let me just close a few things down here, and I'll bring that up. All right, I'm going to get in the chat first, though, of course. Let's see who else we got here. We got Wookie says ORX farm. Yeah, for TitanX, yeah, 100%. So ORX just launched, and yeah, already got a farm. How about that? We did predict that, so everything's going pretty well with our predictions. If you haven't gotten the Strategy Chart Club, get into our Strategy Club. Links in the description. It's only $35 a month, and we do multi-chain opportunities. And of course, if you want to join Pulsechain Hex Discord, it's only $5 a month. So join up today. It's a private Discord. And we got everything in there. We got a help desk as well for Pulsechain and projects, and we got all the information links you possibly want. And best of all, we've got an awesome community, and yeah, just well worth joining up to either of those. Bakuna says buy the dip. Says Bakuna, absolutely buy the dip, accumulate. That's the one. She's greatly capitulated, says Brennan. Yeah, absolutely. I think we got what's up, Hexicans? What's up? Hey, Tindop, hope you're doing well, mate. And let's get into it. Let's bring in TitanX, which has had a bit of a pullback yesterday, pretty strong pullback, which is good, right? It's good to have a bit of those because it makes it healthier for the ecosystem. You know, people take profits, new people come in cheaper, all good stuff like that. So redistribution of tokens, lots of cool things happen when you have a bit of a pullback. And of course, the RSI getting overheated and stuff like that. All right, let's bring it over now. Obviously, TitanX ecosystem is growing every single day. I mean, it really is on takeoff. If you can't recognize that, then you need to do more research because this project list, we start off with a few projects. TitanX started it all off, and now we've got all these projects. We've got 18 at least on here, plus there's another one I haven't got on here. Yeah, look at this thing go. Go. Now, obviously, ORX is at the top today. It's up 43%. Only just launched. It's been about a day or so. And yeah, doing pretty well. $1.89. There's not much supply, and it's about 500,000 tokens, I think, in supply. Most of the tokens are going to start coming out after 21 days to 28 days, depending on whether you went in with ETH or with TitanX. And a lot of that's going to be dripped out, right, over a long period of time because of vesting periods and things like that. So it's got kind of that set up. It is going to have its lending protocol come out in a couple of weeks. That's going to public testnet, and we're expecting big things there. But that's up 42.83% today. And of course, it got farms today, so we're going to check that out as well. Second best performer is Hydra DragonX. This is a little bit of a surprise, to be honest, because we're going through higher inflation for Hydra. Going to be that case all the way through for quite a few more contract days there. So 35% up today. Helios, of course, is the sleeper that everyone's talking about. That is up 28%. Pulsar is the Ethereum Pulsechain hybrid. Of course, that is also been launched by Crypto Kool-Aid and the gang at Gearheads, and that's up 23% at the moment. AWX, which only launched the other day, 2 days or so ago, that's up 21%. Inferno, which is another store of value like DragonX, is up 21%. A lot of projects coming to build on Inferno. Vault, which is just absolutely doing amazing, is up 20%. In fact, we had a huge buy coming on, and that may be a reflection of the liquidity in Titan Farm. So we're going to talk about that too. Baby DragonX has got one of their projects coming up. That looks really cool. So it's going to have a project called Scales launching on Baby DragonX. That actually looks pretty good. So I really like what I'm seeing there. That is up 18%. LegendX is up 15% here. That's doing pretty well. So the quiet achiever is LegendX. And DragonX, of course, the ultimate king of the hill, as we call it, store of value, is up 15% today. And what else we got there? JKX, the meme coin, up 15%. Hyper, of course, just got included. So Hyper just got included in the TitanX statistics correctly. So that's now included, and things are looking better there. 12.44%. TitanX itself, which is the medium of exchange. So all of these other projects are pretty much directly or indirectly built on TitanX, and that is up 12.3% today. Element 280, which is the second to last project that launched, third to last project that launched actually, is up 9.7%, and I think a pretty exciting project for sure, and doing a lot of buying, burning for a lot of these other projects, so it's doing very well. Blaze, of course, you earn ETH. It's a bit like a DXN type approach. Blaze, they earn ETH. That's up 8%. Janus, which is another Pulsechain crossover from TitanX ecosystem, and that's up 2.6%. That will benefit really a lot when Pulsechain rallies, right? So that will earn more money, and it's got sort of this arbitrage feeding the floor price and stuff like that value there. So that's pretty cool. Pulsar is also Pulsechain related, and that is, which one did I say earlier? Yeah, Pulsar, we talked about that already, up 2%, and then Tink, of course, is the farm incentive token, right? That is up about 0.6%, to $2.17. That's doing pretty well, actually, and we're coming up to a pretty critical milestone with that, so we'll talk about that. So all these projects, there's a lot to talk about, lots to talk about. Has anyone else got any comments about that? No, no one's got any comments. There's just so many projects now, and this is not all of them. This is the ones that they've launched. So let's quickly look at we're going to come back and look at these projects, but let's quickly look at where we're going here. I've got so many to talk about. Let's go look at TitanX first. Let's look at TitanX, and let's have a look where the price is. So we're going to get rid of the overlays. We've got the price here. So we did have a nice pullback yesterday on TitanX, which is the medium exchange, right? That's the number one coin. It's the layer one kind of coin for the rest of the protocols, which are like layer 2, 3s, and 4s. We've got the price yesterday was at 5 zeros, 14.34. So we only just got rid of 5 zeros, right? So that was really important. And that was down around here, right? We got rid of 5 zeros, 6 zeros, sorry, and now we're in 5 zero land. And we actually pulled back all the way back down to 1200 pretty much. 5 zeros, 1200. And now we're back up to 12 zeros, 1350. So we're up quite nicely today. And things are heading in the right direction, up 11.11%. Now we did have quite a an issue with the RSI. Was pretty overheated on the daily. You can see that we're up at 82. We're still pretty elevated, right? We got down to 64, still under 70. Over 70 is like really oversold territory. So we are pretty elevated, but we can stay elevated for a while. And here we are doing pretty well. So that is kind of the TitanX. And of course, if that lifts in price versus Ethereum and US dollar, then everything goes up pretty dramatically. It's a bit like Pulse going up on Pulsechain. Then the whole, if it goes up 2x, then the whole Pulsechain re-rates 2x, all things equal, right? Same thing happens here with most of the projects here. Obviously, the ratio to TitanX does matter for an individual project, but all things equal, TitanX makes everything go up pretty fast. And obviously, correspondingly, so does Ethereum versus US dollar. So pretty important there. Let's bring on the, let's have a quick look at the projects that have just launched. Now, obviously, Ouroboros is the top of the hill at the moment. And we can see on the website where that is at. Actually, we're going to probably go use the TitanX and go to TitanX because that's a better summary to some degree. And we can go to the stats and we can go have a look down here. Now, before we do that, we do now have Hyper included in the stats, and now we're down. The liquid has gone down to 46 trillion 333 billion. So we've been, really going down a lot. If anything, it was underreported now, but it's been adjusted for Hyper, so that's cool. The BOT protocols, these are all the protocols built on top of TitanX. They're at 47.5 trillion. That's been going up a lot. So the liquid is now at 22.35%. So that's heading in the right direction towards hyperinflation. Not quite there yet, but I think once we start getting some real vertical plays and a lot more projects launching as we go, that's going to have the impact on the TitanX price, and everything's going to go pretty much crazy to the up to the right. So that's kind of where we are there at the moment. The other thing is that we have BOT projects at 22.91%. So already liquid has gone below the BOT. So demand really should start ratcheting up from that point of view as well. So we're going to talk about that. So that's kind of where we are. Let's have a quick look at how much Ouroboros, which is the new lending, it's the third of the big three DeFis, the lending and stablecoin coming up still. 2.161 billion has gone in there so far, just over a day, I believe. So very cool there. We can even open up the DApp. So let's have a look at that. And quickly look at that. So that is where we are at the moment. Yeah, 1.84 trillion has been deposited, but it is over 2 trillion, including the LP. What else we got going there? 594,000 ORX has been minted. That is the supply at the moment, circulating around. And of course, 351 million is kind of vest that's going to drip out over the next year, for example. Yeah, pretty cool. Max feature supply 332 million at the moment. Now the curve, the ratio that you're getting if you do go in with TitanX is going up slightly. So we start off at 6,000. It was pretty flat for quite a while. Once we hit about 1.8 trillion or something, we started rising up here, and we're sitting. What are we sitting up here? We're sitting at what? It's actually more closer to 1.5 trillion. We're now sitting at around 7,200 TitanX per org. So it gets more expensive. And of course, the max that can go in here is 10 trillion before the supply is kind of minted out there. Now that's if you use TitanX. Obviously, you can go in with Ethereum. If you use TitanX, it's a minimum 28 days. But if you go TitanX, it's Ethereum. Sorry, it is only 21 days. And of course, it will show up down here, your vesting and everything else in the drip, the vesting in the drip as well. Kind of cool. Here's a little bit of onboarding too. You can get a 2% referral for that. I haven't really promoted that, but that is sitting there. What else? I think that's kind of it. So that's going along pretty nicely. The third of the big DeFis, and of course, then later on, we're expecting the actual stable coin to launch, right? This USDX, and of course, that's going to public testing. So we'll probably see that in a couple of weeks. That's when the lending launches and the stable coin. People put their TitanX and issue USDX. And of course, it's got its own unique, innovative mechanisms for that we probably haven't seen before, hopefully. So that's kind of cool. And what else are we going to say about that? Yeah, the fees generated will go to the people with the RRX tokens, right? So if you're in there, you're going to earn some mad gains, maybe. Let's see. So that's kind of cool. What else are we going to say about that? So that is Ouroboros there, and the price at the moment, $1.89. The other thing that happened earlier today was that it got on Tink Farms, right? Really early, really quick. And most likely because of the significance of the project and the volume that's expected to go through there, in terms of trading fees supporting Tink token. So awesome stuff. So there's not much supply around, right, of Tink, of ORX token, but it did get included, and here it is down the bottom here. The yield was pretty cool. Now, earlier today, the yield was 1100%. So already people were flocking in there, 727% now. 320k in there. 28% of the LP is now in the farm, so that's pretty good. And it's receiving 0.03 Tink per second. So that's the numbers there. Not bad. So everything going pretty well for the old ORC. That should spur a bit more value to go into the protocol. We should see. We should see how that goes. So that is some of the highlights there. Let's jump out there. In fact, you can see the Tink farm is doing very well, almost 29 million, $2.17. The Tink price holding up very well, and we're going to talk about Tink. So let's jump to that while we're here. That's probably going to make the RRX price go up, right? And there's only a limited supply, at least for 21 days. That we could see quite a big rally in RRX in that time. Let's go down to the bottom, the worst performer today, which is Tink, funny enough. But has it bottomed out? Does the chart look like it's bottoming out? Kind of does a little bit there. Now, you guys know what's the logic here. So 9 days and 7 hours. So we're now in day 10. So day 10, and that's very important. So if you think about, we've got fixed inflation coming out every single day. And so every second there is a Tink being created. What am I doing here? I'm not even sure what I'm doing. Every second there's a Tink being created. And so we only have a fixed supply of Tink coming out every day. So obviously if you go to day 2, it doubles that amount of Tink. But by the time you get to day 10, you've had 10 days of Tink at a fixed amount of Tink. And of course, when you get to day 11, you're only getting 10% more Tink. So it really, really is a big deal. By the time you get to day 100, you've got 100 days of Tink. But when you get to day 101, you've only got 1% extra more Tink. So you see how it works? And so the big whales will see that and think about that and take up positions in the supply. Now, we know in a full year, we're going to have 31.5 million Tink per year. But of course, we've got this big, powerful buying and burning, which is going to be based on accumulated fees. So if you expand those fees, in other words, the prices of everything go up, you're going to earn more fees. If you add more farms, you earn more fees. Or your volumes go up, you earn more fees. If you attract more community, you're growing, you earn more fees. So the whole thing is just a growth fest there. And of course, if you're in a bull market, it just is hypercharged. And of course, that will burn Tink and maybe burn more Tink than that's even made. So that's kind of what we're looking at. It is early days. We're only on day 10, but it is a pretty significant day. By the time we get to day 11 in 24 hours or so, or less than 24 hours, it's about 24 hours from now, actually. That's when Tink launched. Then we're only on 10% more. Right? So yeah, it's going to be interesting to see the behavior in the market. We can already see that the Tink price is kind of holding up there. The other thing is that people are earning pretty good returns, right? Pretty good returns. I mean, look at these returns, big whales in there in returns. So that there's going to be a bit of ebbs and flows between this idea. So you will need to have large money coming in to absorb the sell down. So it's really interesting to watch the ARP. Now, obviously, the wild card here, of course, is TitanX is an ecosystem where projects build on other projects. So Tink can be built on, right? And it eats up the supply of Tink. So even though there's a lot of supply of Tink coming out, currently the supply is 738,000. 37,000 of it's been burned so far. So that is where we are. So what's that, 4 or 5%, something like that. So yeah, maybe that's kind of where we are. You know, it's going to expect that to expand. Let's go to the burn there, and we can see that at the moment DragonX is burned. So $60,000 of DragonX being burned, 4.3 billion. Hydra's being burned, 1.8 billion there has been burned, $13,700, and Hyper has been burned as well, 2.9 billion, $8,200. So that's just early days, and we're only on day 9 to start day 10. But more importantly, Tink is being burned, right? We've got this big reserve here. This has got $85,000 of TitanX, 62.7 billion TitanX to go and burn Tink all the time. It's doing a pretty good job. Currently burning 500 million TitanX per hour, which I think is a pretty good rate. There's a pretty good rate where it is at the moment. In addition to that, we've also got the wrapped ETH side of the pool, 4.7 ETH in there, $12,300. It's also being called every 2 hours. 0.15 ETH, so that's ticking away. And finally, we've also got another burn, 3 burns for Tink. We've got Tink itself, and that is 130 Tink in there at the moment, and of course that is burning away also with 888 Tink callable every 15 minutes. So the the Tink is slowly getting burned away there, and the farm is slowly expanding. Now all you have to do is watch this. If TitanX goes to 10x, all these numbers go 10x, right? So if you're bullish about where TitanX is going in the whole ecosystem, and more projects launching, more user growth, all that sort of stuff, more bigger players coming in, then this it all goes up very, very quickly, and the implied Tink value goes up all the time, right? So that's exciting stuff to see there. And then if you get a project building on top of it, boy oh boy, anything is possible, right? Anything is possible. So very excited to see that. What else? I think that's kind of it on those two. They're kind of a little bit related there today. So fun times. Now, obviously, we've got lots of different things. Now, the one thing that was really surprising today is the Hydra, and that really kind of rallied today. But let's have a look, not the US dollar price, but at the actual ratio here. So the ratio is at 55. I did have a rally up to 59, so not bad at all. We are expecting a lot of Hydra inflation in the next couple of weeks, 2 weeks in fact. So it's going to be interesting to see what this chart looks like. But it has defied the odds today with a big green pump on the ratio there, so not bad. Still very low, but still a pump nevertheless. And it's going to probably be challenged over the next 2 weeks. That being said, of course, people are going into the Hydra DragonX farms, and it's 623% APR, was about 880%, 1000% yesterday. So obviously people are going into that, and it's probably a good reason why it's gone up today. Kind of cool. Let's see what other comments we've got in the chat. Any more comments? Let's go here. We've got Big Kahuna. My market sentiment measure is based on number of times I hear woo-woo-woos in this channel. Very, very nice. I like that. There's Hex Token going to give you one of those. Brian's in house there, our community leader, doing awesome as always. What's up, folks? Good to see you, Brian. Fernando in house there. What's going to happen with Avalanche? I'm not really sure. Not following that too closely. Archie in house there. Hi, all. Hey, Archie. I hope you're doing well there. The Don of Dons of the Mafia, the #1 GameFi. And there it is, Archie, the greatest game player in the whole world of Mafia. And if you're not in his families, then you're going to lose. And you may end up being perished a terrible death. So join up to the directorate today. 4 different families, of course. The Syndicate, the Illuminati, the Hustlers, and the Yakuza. So he is the man. He's the man. Crushing it. The people don't even know that you're losing already. Other families are losing and they don't even know it. AlienX, absolutely, Utah is looking good. AlienX, we're going to talk about that in a second. Woo-hoo-hoo. Hey, Wookie, good to see you. Capo as well in the director there. So I think we're lock and loaded there. All right, let's jump over to where we're up to here. So some really good things happening in the ecosystem, as you guys can see. Now, Helios is kind of this quiet sleeper. This is its treasury is getting filled up. So this is going to be really fun to watch there. I see the ratio is at 1.17. Very key to keep an eye on that ratio. And that is going up pretty nice. A little pump today. Now, it's kind of been undervalued at the moment. Had tried to do a breakout here. Got to 1.15 or so, 1.6, but got pushed back down at the moment. A little sleeper, though. A little sleeper because the treasury is getting filled up. So let's keep looking at that. So we're going to keep looking at this. Obviously, it's got TitanX in there at the moment. So yeah, just keep a lookout for them. That's certainly one of the medium projects to probably have in your bag. Things like that. Now, I was going to get to some of the new ones. So we've talked about Ouroboros. We've talked about Helios. Now, I wanted to get to I'm not going to talk about element 280 today. What is the other one there? I'll talk about Titan Farms. Awesome X is out, of course. We'll probably have a quick look at. We're going to have a quick look at AlienX. That's what we're looking at. So we're going to go AlienX and close out of that. So let me just close some of these ones here. Let's go to AlienX. And AlienX is the last one to launch. So we talked about Ouroboros. We've got AlienX at the moment. That is up 93%. So we've got to go talk about that. I don't actually have the website on here for some reason. They haven't got this up there. I'm not sure. Normally the website's up there. I've got it in the Strategy Club, but yeah, if you haven't joined the Strategy Club, definitely join up to that today. Let's go have a look at, we're going to look on X instead. I'm sure it's got the site there somewhere. There it is there, web. Let's go. So once again, you know, the Blaze kind of guys do great stuff with the marketing. You can't say that. They're always on top of that. So it always looks visually fantastic. Let's have a look here. So this is ticking away. So almost 10 hours. So 9 hours and 45 minutes. And I've already got 333 billion TitanX. That's a really good result. Really looking like, really happy with that. And that's 40% the way through. So not too bad. And you get one TitanX equals one AlienX. Very excited about it. ROI at the moment, 626%. We'll see what that's like in 14 hours time. But still very, very attractive there. And of course, this benefits Inferno, doesn't it? So AlienX benefits Inferno. Let's look at the burn there. Got 85 billion at the moment, 115K in the burn. It's going to be called every 8 minutes once it ticks away. And we've got, see the word Tink, how catchy that is. I just keep saying Tink anyway, and that's not even talking about Tink. It's very catchy, I don't know. We got the buy and fuel there. Is that that's the one we were talking about, and we've got this other one here as well. So I guess going to follow up at some stage. Alien Burn powered by Inferno. Alien Core powered by Inferno. What does this one do? TitanX buys Inferno and stores it in the core. Yeah, we understand that. AlienX buy and burn using Inferno as the fuel. How about that? So there we are. Burn the old AlienX. Let's go to the stats. Everything is liquid. Well, we've got no liquid at the moment. Nothing. There's nothing there, is there? I guess. Oh no, there is. Sorry, there's 4.8 billion tokens in AlienX so far. There we go. That makes a lot more sense. What else have we got? 60 billion is burned so far. So that's pretty impressive. Total TitanX burnt. Total Inferno sent to the vault. Nothing at the moment. Total TitanX sent to Flux buy and burn. The Flux is getting a bit of love, and that is at 12 billion. Total AlienX burnt by taxes is 204. Now, this is one of the things I want to say. We've seen, I'm pretty sure in TitanX, one of the ethos from Jake was to do V3 pulse. But what have we seen? We've seen some good projects. The tokenomics are good. We've seen a shift towards V2 as well, using V2 to allow tax system reflection tokens to come in, which is pretty interesting. And Jake seems to be pretty happy with it. So I guess that's part of the developer guide now. We've seen it with full range on, it's a proxy, but full range on V3 on Titan farms. I guess it's acceptable because it's on V3, but it does mimic kind of a V2, and it's a very cool mechanism. We've seen element 280. It's using taxes, and that's in a V2 pool. Now we've got AlienX here with a V2 pool as well. So some interesting happening in the old expansion of tokenomics there, I would say. Yeah, if you haven't joined Strategy Club, that's the link to join. Join using Walker's link. Archie's in house as well. Join the directorate on Mafia. Absolutely. I'm one family there from the Dawn of Dons. We got Morning Sweet Man from Hex Down Under. What's on for the weekend? Well, hopefully, I don't know. What are we going to do in the weekend? We're going to get some training, start training, ramping the training up. That's probably what we're going to do. Now. Yeah, as in house. We always like Brian. All right, so that is looking pretty good there. Let's go have a quick look at, we've got, 14 hours in the cycle one. So it's every week, isn't it? So typically the Blaze setup is kind of like that. And so we've got the AlienX phase there. Week 1, you get 1-to-1. And by the time you get to week 8, it's 1 to 0.44. We're kind of used to those. Liquidity pool, this is different, right? There's a V2 because we've got taxes in here. So there we go, taxes. What else? And it's following on the back of element 280, right? With V2. So a little bit of expansion in tokenomics here. That's kind of where we are. Mint phase allocation. They've got all these buy and burns, so you can read through that. We have looked at this before, so I'm just going to jump through all this. They're going to have a weekly burn schedule. But really interesting part of this is that 86% of it gets sent to the buy and burn the following week. So they're really elongating, making this more of a longer term project with that setup, and also for Inferno as well. 100% the TitanX sent to the buy Inferno. So that's really helping the buy pressure on Inferno there. Tax allocation, got that the 2.08% tax on buy and sells and transfers. So remember that 50% Alien tax is burned forever, and 50% Alien tax is sent to the Alien LP vault for liquidity. So that's important too. So this is quite a big different aspect to the project. Post mint there, once the mint phase concludes, the AlienX ecosystem enters a new phase of expansion. So in connection with other projects, set up liquidity pools with other protocols on the system there. And I got a bit about game theory, which you can read as well. So that is AlienX. It is alive. It is alive. So pretty cool. So what do we got here? We got quite a few projects kicking away on top here, and of course from the Blaze team. So we've got Inferno, all right, benefits from Flux, and now it's got AlienX too. And of course Flux is betting from AlienX. It's going to lift probably Flux as well with the old results on for Flux. If I've got Flux in here, sure. If I'm missing Flux, no, let's say I'm not. Am I missing Flux on here? I've got two lists, you see, and I might have accidentally missed Flux on here. I think I have two. I think I've missed Flux. How about that? I've got it on the other list, but not on this one. Let's go to Flux then. I have to add that in. My bad. All right. So let's have a look at Flux quickly while we're here. So Flux at the moment's got 24 billion in at the moment. 17 hours to go on that auction. And of course, remember both Flux and AlienX benefit DragonX. Sorry, not DragonX, benefit Inferno. What else we got here? The yields at the moment 382%, so it's ticking away. Let's have a look at the burn at the moment. There's still 62 billion in the burn balance, 16 billion today, $22,000 of buy pressure there. Left to burn $54,000 at the moment. And the stats there, obviously benefiting the projects there. Looks like we've had 4.5 trillion TitanX go through Flux. Isn't that that's pretty impressive? And the Flux burn there ticking away. Inferno, burn 5 Flux, 169 billion Inferno. That's helping with that. Now, Inferno is over 51% burn through, so definitely making an impact there. What else we got going on there? TitanX sent to DragonX, 101 billion TitanX. So that's pretty cool, beefing up the old DragonX as well. I think that goes to the vault, right? So it goes to the vault, helps for staking, I guess. And Helios, they're getting a bit more love too. $69,000 going to Helios, almost like free. Helios people. So I said Helios is kind of like quite a achiever there as well. All right, so that's ticking away, and of course we talked about Inferno. Let's quickly go to Inferno now. We'll talk about the other two projects pulled on Inferno. Let's have a quick look at the supply of Inferno. How's it going? Well, we're at 2,824 billion tokens left. Looks like 51% of Inferno has been burned. Let's see what AlienX and Flux. AlienX going to lift up Flux, so let's see how those two go. Burning more of the Inferno. Inferno is the store of value for that subsystem in the TitanX ecosystem. So that's kind of cool. So ticking away. And there's lots of cool stuff coming out from the team. A big shout out from Marco the Hexkin. Lots of cool things there. Breaking the simulator. Minting is live. Yeah, so lots of cool things happening there for AlienX. Let's see where that all goes. So that's kind of the projects, the last two. Obviously, we've had Element 280 launch as well. That's doing pretty well. In fact, let's have a quick look at the amount of NFTs that have been launched. This has got a 28-day mint phase, goes past the 369 as well. So hopefully we'll get quite a bit of ETH from that coming into the system. Let's have a quick look at the stats page. Element 280 from the dude, creator of Helios, creator of Janus, of course, on Pulsechain, and really, really clever guy. We've had him on the show before. What is that? 21,491 multipliers, and we've got 2,623 NFTs. We've had amazing 660 burned already. There's so many degens out there, right? So many degens. 660. There's profit to be made. And they recycle, right? The recycle one, probably the case there. Anyway, we've got liquid at 11.9%, 352 billion element. We've got unclaimed at the moment, 5.78%. That's pretty interesting. LPs, it's got in the LP there is 164 billion, 5.5%, and burned is 15% almost. That's pretty awesome, eh? Pretty good tokenomics, and 1.84 trillion element is still sitting in the NFTs that we've got over here. That's 2,600. So there we go. We've obviously had a lot of stuff burned from all the projects. So this element 280 is the second of the big 3 DeFi, so the big buyer and burner. And look at the results, pretty awesome as it ticks away there, burning all these different projects. Amazing stuff. Very complicated protocol, very simply presented, but lots of back enders. Got a lot of cool stuff there. 3 NFTs, common, rare, legendary. You can either have standard or amped, and of course get more of the multiplier and earn more of the mad gains, right? Earn more of the mad gains. The buy and burn ticking away, doing pretty well. So that's operating, and that's still got lots of balance. Look at that. All the TitanX are still ticking away for the buy and burn. So that's all just ticking away in the background. All the projects that you love are getting some love from this protocol, and it's ticking away. And 28 day, that's going to be fun. Now, obviously, doing a lot of bot arbitrage to make fees to lift the price floor in here. And that's going to just continue, hopefully, in V2. It's on a V2, really. It's pretty amazing. All right, so that's kind of cool. But we have got, obviously, stuff coming up. We got USDX coming up. And so let's have a quick look at that chart. Let's go look. We're going to add our overlays, and bam, let's go. So let's go full mode on here. Bam. And if you say bam, it really helps. I don't know why, but it does. So we've got AlienX there. That is benefiting Inferno. So that's just launched. We just covered that in full. So we're going to delete that off our map. Bam. So what's next coming up there? Oh, Lotus, of course. We may even have Scale out. Scale's going to be on Baby DragonX. So question mark over that. And we've got Lotus coming up, right? Lotus. So let's go to Baby DragonX quickly. We'll have a look at that. That is a Scale. That's one Scale, number 12. So you'll see a couple of new projects that have been added. Obviously, we've got Morpheus there. That's from Rags to Riches. That's probably a good reason why I had Jack Sharp to some degree on the show today, earlier, or at least at the end of the show. We have Wheel and Viper. That's coming from Lotus, right? From Steve. And we got Scale there from the Baby DragonX team. And then we got Phoenix there as well. So that's coming up there. That's also from, I think that's from, is that from Blaze team? I can't remember which one that is, but that's coming up too. Yeah, is that Phoenix? Let me just go over to my map because that would help me a lot there. Yes, yeah, I think that is possibly a Blaze team one. Anyway, so we got Lotus coming up. So Scale, let's have a quick look at that, see if we've got any info, and see what's happening there. Baby DragonX, very cute. Did some pretty awesome mixes, pretty thin liquidity, but they're doing a lot of reinvesting in the system. Very clever approach. I like that approach where you're going back in the system, compounding like Hydra miners and things like that. Very cool. So that's ticking away. Reason why to look into the Scale white paper is building on TitanX, built on DragonX, built on Hydra, built on Element 280, built on AwesomeX, and deflation token sustainable yield on your tokens for just holding liquid, no lockups, brought to you by the same mines that give you a 70x on Baby DragonX. So some cool stuff happening there. Marco the Hexagon on there, reposts. So lots of people interested in this. It's going to be fun to see where that goes. We'll probably cover it in more detail. So that's the Scale. That potentially coming up there. I'm not sure what the time zone. We'll let you know, and we'll update our chart here. Lotus, though, is the next big one. Obviously coming on Vault. Vault is massive in the ecosystem, just like DragonX, the king of the hill, and, of course, Inferno, which is its own store of value. Lotus is the third big subsystem or subsystem, Lotus, and that is doing very well from Stevie, and that's going to be Vault, right? So benefit for Vault. So we're excited about that. And Lotus is on the list as well, number 6. Let's have a look at. I haven't got the white paper there, but we have got the white paper. So let's go to the X here, and we're going to find the white paper here. There it is, docs.lotus.win. And now you can find all these things in our strategy club. So links in the video description for that, or in the chat there using Wookie's link. So kind of cool. Let's just go to. I have a few problems with my mouse here. Let's go to the mining Lotus distribution. 4% of TitanX that goes into this protocol will be sent to the DragonX vaults. DragonX getting some more love there. 4% used for vaults liquidity bonding. I was surprised to see 4% going to DragonX, to be honest. I really expected this to go to, send it all to for the Lotus. So it's an interesting strategy that some people are using here. 4% used for vaults liquidity bonding. Cool. Happy with that. 8% used for Lotus liquidity bonding. Yeah. I don't know why there's a double up there, but for Vault and for Lotus, yeah, that makes sense. 48% buy pressure goes to Lotus buy and burn. So that's really awesome. 8% uses TitanX to buy Vault and send to the Vault, Treasury Vault. So that's awesome. So that's going to make the perpetual auctions even bigger and can make them even last longer, bring in more potential buy and burn because that seems to be a very positive cycle that keeps going. And then 40% is going to buy and burn Lotus, so not bad. 28% TitanX sent to 3 reward pools. and Lotus Bloom rewards. So that's going to be cool for people participating. And 8% is going to the Genesis, no expectations there. Now, obviously, the artwork on here is fantastic. Let's just say that much. A really, really good artwork on Lotus there. Very different ecosystem too. So not bad. Now, there's obviously going to be lots of different catalysts in here that is coming up, and this is going to be very, very bullish for Lotus. So not bad there. You can see a lot of the cool stuff happening on here. So it's going to be a big boom time for this. There's going to be a lot in 29 minutes. So this is hot off the press. Lotus debrief stream. This just came out 20 minutes ago. Hosted by Unity and DeFi. So it's coming up as well. So you'll be able to find out more details about that. I'll probably repost that actually. Let me just repost that. Let's see what else is going on there. Yep, lots of cool things happening. Let's see here. I think that's it for the moment. So that is taken off there, Lotus. So we've got lots of beautiful protocols launching, haven't we? And Lotus is coming up next. So Lotus is the next one. Scale to be confirmed. But Lotus is coming up on the 26th of October. That's going to be super bullish for Vault. As you guys know, Vault is absolutely crushing it. It's number 6 best performer today at the moment. If we go to the 6 hourly, Vault is number 1. Vault is number 1. Now I want to talk about Vaults because we have something very interesting happening. Now we often get liquidity. Obviously, it was very good before the Titan Farms came out. Titan Farms, of course, has elevated a lot of the liquidity. We're sitting up here some pretty interesting numbers. The Vault at the moment's got 10.4 million liquidity, but 30.3 million in market cap. Pretty interesting ratio there. That's very high with liquidity. And of course, we've got the volume at 2.5 million. So very good for Titan Farms and a lot of fees coming from that. But we can actually see that typically we might have a lot of trades around 10,000, 15,000. Potentially we get some trades up at 30 and 40 and 40, 50,000. We get some of those. We particularly had a lot a day ago with profit taking. So there's quite a bit of heavy profit taking as we move up. But the buy and burn in here is so resilient. It just keeps going every 5 minutes. Just keep buying $2,400. It is burning, it's buying and burning Vault at very good pace. Around 15 to 16,000 Vault a day. And then of course they also got the Element 280, which adds another 5% or so to that. So it's doing pretty well. And of course Lotus is coming. It's going to supercharge all that with more buying pressure and buying burns. So I'm very excited that you can see 39 minutes ago we had a $20,000 buy. So really with the liquidity up at over 10 million allows these bigger players on Ethereum to get involved. There's a 20K sell, for example. So some really nice stuff going on here. But here's just the one I wanted to point out. So this guy here came out about an hour and 38 minutes ago, and he bought pretty much, I think he routed through another pool possibly, but he pretty much bought 88,000 here, but it could have been up to 100K. And look at pretty awesome. So a brand new, looks like a brand new one there, 2.8 million. He has bought so for $122,000. So this guy is pretty serious. And this is maybe an example of what's going to happen in the future as we get moved from, $10,000 to $20,000 buys to $30,000, $40,000, $50,000 buy and sells. And suddenly we move up, now that we're over 10 million, we move up to $100,000 buys, $250,000 buys, these sort of things. And eventually, as it gets bigger, we get $1 million buys and we bring in all those big rich guys on Ethereum and other chains that come over to, get in on Vault. And you can see the chart itself on the 4 hourly. This is kind of the trader's view, right? It's looking very, very friendly indeed. 4.3 cents, almost back to the previous high of 4.6 cents. But of course, in TitanX, we're always looking at the ratio, right? What is the ratio of this project to TitanX or whatever it's paired to? And we can see that actually it's looking pretty good. 32,000. We're back there again. Had a bit of volatility yesterday. You can see that. We got all the way down to 26,900. So obviously some profit taking there. But back up we are at the moment and looking very good as this curve here. RSI is pretty hot on the daily, 68, but we're not in the oversold territory yet. And of course, we're counting down only days away to get to Lotus. It is getting closer and closer by the day. So it's pretty awesome. And what we've got here, let's say 9 days away is the Lotus countdown. So it's going to be pretty fun. And that should be the next one that we see pop up. At the top of the TitanX hub, which is where all the projects are. It's kind of like the coin market cap or coin gecko of TitanX. It's going to get bigger and bigger and more attention as time goes on because TitanX is taking over Ethereum, and Ethereum is the second most valuable chain in the world. And of course, by smart contract is the number one, right? It's dominating. Obviously, it's been a little bit of a victim of its own success with proto-dank sharding, other things like that. With other second layers, doing pretty well like Base and Optimism and Arbitrum and things. But really is the king of the hill, and TitanX is probably helping making it great again as well. So we talk about making America great, making the world great, but TitanX is doing that on Ethereum. And of course, as you guys know, we're going to move into November now. Before we get to November, we've got this big event, a giant event. Of course, TitanX 369 payout. That is going to be absolutely massive. It is going to be the bigger Ethereum, the more Ethereum rallies, the bigger the event's going to be. So let's quickly go and see how big that is now. Now, you guys know we've got probably about 47% of the payout for the 369 payout, which is all in Ethereum. So it's really an input into pumping TitanX and the rest of the ecosystem. It is $6.5 million at the moment, 2,500 ETH, and we know that 47% is going to DragonX and Helios combined, right? So that's pretty exciting. And we've still got quite a few days to go in the countdown. We've still got 12 days and 7 hours until that event happens. We may have a bit of a sell news event. We may just pump through it. But it's certainly going to be a big buy and burn of TitanX and burn it off the market, as well as burning a lot of DragonX off the market, and also beneficial for Helios as well. So lots of cool things coming there. Very exciting system there. So that's kind of cool with the wrap map. But hey, look, things just get getting better. If you think Lotus is going to be good for Vault, Vault's already crushing it, as we can see. You can see the chart. Vault is looking really good. The other thing, of course, Vault is trending in the top 10 all the time. It's currently number 5. Look at that on Ethereum. And I suspect we're going to see more and more of these projects on Ethereum, on TitanX, start dominating the top 30, right? Particularly even the top 10. Liquidity is already, I think we've got 3 of the top 10 liquidity projects on Ethereum. It's just slowly happening, but it's about to accelerate big time as we move into November and hyperdeflation starts to occur. It's going to be pretty epic for that. So really liking this. I'm just scrolling through the top 30 at the moment. It is going to be really exciting to see these dominate, right? So keep a lookout for that trend. It's going to be a lot of fun. The Vault at the moment is leading the way. And of course, it's going to be fun to see it. Now, obviously, we've got more projects coming from Stevie, who's just an absolute genius tokenomics guy, great personality, bubbly personality. He's got Viper coming out next on DragonX. So DragonX getting more love here with the Nexus tech, and it's some sort of burn tech. He says a brand new revolutionary. We're looking forward to it. It's going to probably be some sort of positive burn wheel and looking pretty good at the moment. And then, of course, a week later, we've got 2 more coming, Turbo, Hyper, and Bull on Inferno. So if you think AlienX is helping Inferno, if you think Flux is helping Inferno, we're also going to have Bull from a different team, not even from the Blaze team, from Steve's team there, the Vault, coming in to build on Inferno. It's basically, they're going to be like Vault built on top of these protocols, and they're going to be pretty much like what he calls pillars there. So you're going to have pretty exciting things happening there. Then a week later, probably towards around the 22nd November, give or take. So that was mid-November for these two. We've got Exara, which is going to be built on Lotus. So Lotus is about to launch in 9 days on the 26th, going to help, obviously, DragonX and Vault. Well, then you can have Exara that's going to be launching on Lotus. So it's kind of like like a Vault on top of a Lotus on top of a Vault. How about that? That's pretty crazy. And then we got Vault Gold, which is going to be on Element 280, which is great to see Element 280 getting some love there. And then we're going to have Awesome V built on Awesome X, of course, which just launched a couple of days ago. So the roadmap looks pretty good. And if these pillars win enough, we're going to have the Vault wheel probably at the end of the month of November. It's going to be so much fun. And the Vault wheel is going to supercharge all the different pillars. And we're looking for that buy and burn mechanism to be pretty outstanding. And looking forward to see Stevie's genius tokenomics play out. Very fun. Now, if that wasn't enough, we've also got this X28, and I've currently got scheduled in for the 8th of November. So keep a lookout for that. It will be flexible, but I kind of all the clues at the moment lead to the 8th of November. And of course, that's 9 days after the 369 payout. Of course, that's going to really a hyper-deflationary trigger. So let's see where that goes, because obviously everything that goes into that is going to be burnt. All the TitanX is going to be burnt. So if hyperinflation hasn't happened by then, it's certainly going to happen with X28. So we'll see there. That's when I got penciled in. It's got a question mark, of course. Now, what happens? We take over Ethereum, right? So we got all these projects going to take over Ethereum, but we need even more. And we got even more. Look at this. All these projects on the list here. We've got Codex, we've got Draco, we've got Phoenix, we've got Drogon, we've got Inferno, we've got Flare, we've got Flex, we've got XLRS, we've got Morpheus, we've got Matrix, we've got Morpheus, I've got that twice. I don't know why I got that twice, but I must add this in accidentally. I thought I didn't have it yesterday. Maybe that's why I've done it. Let me just tape the. My mouse is having a fit here. All right, so let's delete that for the moment. So we got Morpheus, we got Duralius, we got Warp, we got Lysumos, we got Titan Game potentially, Shadow Protocol, Shogun, of course, we got out there as well. So lots of cool things. So actually, I might just put that in now while I remember. So we got Shogun, which we're supposed to have in here. Now, Shogun is from Jake Sharp. It's going to be some sort of deflationary token built on other projects that are deflationary. So deflationary on deflationary. So that's coming up as well. That's going to be pretty special. Now, Hyper's getting a lot of love. So Hyper's going to have a lot of these projects. Dragon, Phoenix from the looks of it, Matrix from Mike Dean. Hydra's going to get some love from Draco. So really, really fun to see where all this heads. Lots more on the list, of course, around meme coins and the other NFT projects. So that's going to be pretty huge too. All right. So let's see what else we got there. We got any more comments? No more comments. Just Brian with the super pump, future. What's it? Super punch, I should say. All right. So that is some of the stuff happening there. Looking very good for Vault. And of course, the next project coming up is a Lotus, which is looking really beautiful artwork. Fantastic. Really, really hats off the artwork there. Things are only going to ramp up here. So once we dominate Ethereum, of course, it's also going to dominate, get ready to dominate all the chains with Omni-chain, at least the EVM chains. And of course, there's only going to be one supply of TitanX. It's going to burn through there. And of course, the X28 token is going to be issued on other projects, but there's only going to be one supply, not a supply on every chain, just the one supply, and hence Omni-chain, not multi-chain. Very excited about that. People will be building on top of this with projects on other chains. It's going to get pretty crazy. You can think of Base Chain, you can think of Pulsechain, you can think of any other EVM chain. The TitanX brand is going to expand and take over crypto, and looking forward to it, right? Looking forward to it. All right, so that is a kind of where we're heading, and it's right time perfectly for the bull market, right? Which is just really starting to ramp up there. So fun times ahead. All right, and I'm really interested to see where Titan Farms goes. I think that is just such a great project. Tinker's going to do something amazing. We're up to a very critical time, in the next 24 hours as we move to, only 10% inflation each day. That's going to go down every day. By the time we get day 100, it's only going to be 1% inflation. What will the big whales do? What will the second layer protocols built on there be like, eating up supply? That yield on that farm could stay up very much better on an average time than people expect. So very excited about that. And the 369 payout, as we say, $6.5 million, pretty exciting. DragonX and Helios going to get a big chunk of that, 47% at the moment. And of course, that's millions of dollars of buy pressure, millions of dollars to burn DragonX and Helios potentially. So fun times ahead. Now, Jake Sharp, of course, being pretty active in here. And one of the big updates he made just earlier today, an hour ago, was that the TitanX stats have been updated. Hyperlock has been included in the BOT or the protocols. So that's all the second layer, third layer protocols, fourth layer protocols on TitanX. Hyper buy and burn has been included inside of the buy and burn. Liquid is actually only 22.458%. Hyperlocked was not excluded before. Also makes it easier for newcomers to understand, which I think is a much better way of going here. So you can see the before 48.3 there, and then suddenly the after 46.6 trillion liquid on the old TitanX. Now, it's just like BT. So BT was 45.5, then is now at 47.2. So those are the key numbers there changed. So not bad at all. We like that. We like that a lot. Yeah, so I think that's kind of some of the highlights. Just going through some of these quickly here. Yeah, so yeah, some cool videos here. I love this AlienX video, right? This AlienX video. I've seen this. It's pretty neat. That's pretty crazy. You got to get hats off to these guys. Very good at their videos and graphics. So I'm not sure if there's a sound effect on that. Is there? There's actually a sound effect. Not sure. I haven't actually listened to this particular. That's pretty funny. So that's from Bad Sports there. The aliens have landed. They've finally made through the filament of the TitanX ecosystem beneath. So I got to repost that. That's great. So very, very cool stuff happening there. Hats off to that team. Very, very cool. All right, what is it? Jake Sharp says 3 hours ago, green stays on. In other words, all the charts started pumping after that day correction. Yeah, very, very cool. Lots of cool things happening. There's a build on TitanX, episode 42, so you definitely want to follow that if you can. Obviously, you get a lot of updates around the projects. They also had a stream on earlier today with the AlienX, so you can go watch that. What else we got? Ouroboros builders are next. So Ouroboros, of course, the lending protocol still going big, and of course there was a live Titan farm there as well. So that was pretty cool. In fact, I don't know if I've reposted that one, but there we go. So lots of cool things happening in the ecosystem. So yeah, that is pretty much it. I think we're going to finish there. An hour and 10 minutes. Not bad. So some big launches the last couple of days. AwesomeX, Element 280, Ouroboros, AlienX. So man, this ecosystem not slowing down. It's going to take over Ethereum, honestly. It's going to make DeFi the way it should be on the Ethereum chain, and safer, right? Generally safer as well, with the high standards that generally are met. So and we've got more developers coming. More developers coming in. You know, obviously we've got Blaze and Steve and Dude and all those people there, but there are more developers coming. They see the success, they want to get in on it, and it's going to be fun to see that grow. Very exciting. All right, hope you guys enjoyed that coverage. We covered pretty much everything: stock market, crypto, meme coins, bull market, Pulsechain, TitanX. Man, it's a lot of fun, and things, man. We're not even in altcoin season yet, right? So it is coming very close. October, this next couple of weeks may very well be the catalyst, and maybe the Trump victory could be absolutely ginormous for crypto to really start that super bull run, that big parabolic. It's going to be a lot of fun. Hope you guys enjoyed today's coverage. Don't forget to subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. We're streaming on 3 different channels: Hex Token Channel, Superman Crypto, and Pulsechain X. Don't forget to share the channels around, because it really does help get all the good alpha out. And we do pretty comprehensive coverage on the channel. If you want to join Strategy Club and look multi-chain opportunities, get into Strategy Club. The link is there and in the video description. Only $35 a month, so really good value. Constant intel flowing through there as well. And if you want to join the Mafia family, join that too. It is the #1. And Archie is a pure genius, and other families are losing, and they don't even know it. And the game hasn't even started yet, so that's how good he is. There we go. And what else can I say? Subscribe, like, share, hit the bell. Catch you guys tomorrow. Take care. Enjoy yourself. Accumulate. And I will see you for great glory in November and December for mad gains. All right. Bye for now. Really.